Next on Rated Reflections.
Just like coming out base. I've been spiritual, I've been me, but people seeing like, oh, she's a witch, and it's not in this because when people say witch, they be like, oh my god, you're evil. No, I'm not evil. No, I do believe in a God, the creator. My path is just a little different than yours.
Now,
Peace and blessings, beautiful people. Welcome to Rated Reflections, y'all. Yes, we finally came up with a name, and we're gonna get into that in a little bit. But this is where we talk about all things music, film, identity, and healing, unfiltered, grown, and soulful. Okay, I am the body positive goddess, your self love coach, healer, and your soul reflection, sister, okay? Your reminder to stay in alignment with your divine purpose. And this man right here, okay, this man is my brother, one of my favorite creators and photographers, Mr. Raquez Rouse. How are you doing, Mr. Raquez?
Hey. I am
Hey.
Raquez. Ashley, you did that like this is an interview for me.
I mean, I did.
This
I'm so used to doing my bad,
I
y'all.
love it
I'm
though.
so
I
used to
love it.
doing interviews.
I love it though. But no, yeah, I'm excited. My name is Raquez. I am the creator of the Shape campaign. I am a photographer and a lover of all things creative, as I always say. I'm really big on beauty and self-esteem and expressing that in any way that looks like for that individual. We
Yeah.
call this rated reflections because so Ashley came up with the rated aspect. I love that. Rated reflections means to me that we are analyzing music, film,
Uh-oh,
projects
wait a
that
minute.
have come from a soulful place, and we are looking at it from the perspective of beauty, self-esteem, and healing and identity as well, and how we see ourselves in art. So rated reflection, so we are rating it, we are analyzing it, and we are reflecting on it and seeing ourselves in it as well. So that's what rating reflections is all about.
And period. And that's exactly what it
Period.
is. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, y'all. Yeah. So we are here. Did you want to say anything else? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
I
I
can
just
go
want go
again.
ahead. I'm riding with you.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm riding with you.
All right, cool. So we are just celebrating y'all and reviewing some of our most favorite and sometimes, okay, controversial projects. Did I say that right? Because I'll be making up words, y'all. Did I say it right? Okay,
You got it. Yeah. Yep.
good. And today, baby, today we are giving this woman her flowers, okay? And this gorgeous, gorgeous woman who has blessed us. Okay. And yes, I said it right, blessed. Okay. She has blessed us with divine messages and melodies and medicine for years. This woman, this goddess, she has been in the neo soul game for a long time. Okay, you can see the God in her, you can hear it in her voice, and you can damn sure feel it and see it in her spirit. Okay, today we are taking a journey through the journey of Miss India.Arie's masterpiece, Voyage to India. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So
And
let's
before we
go
do
ahead.
that, I want to
Yes.
also real quick. I want to do like I do my little spiel on Miss India
Yes,
Ari.
yes.
So India Ari was born in Denver, Colorado, and raised in Atlanta. She emerged in the early 2000s with a sound rooted in acoustic soul, spirituality, and self acceptance. Her debut album, Acoustic Soul, instantly made waves, earning her 7 Grammy nominations. India, she didn't lead with trends, she led with her truth. Her music centers themes of identity, worthiness, inner peace, feminine energy, personal growth, and the journey back to yourself.
Uh-huh.
So, as Ashley already stated, the Body Positive Goddess stated, we are going to be doing her reviewing her sophomore album, Voyage to India, which was
Mhm.
released in 2002. And basically, it is a beautiful body of work that I am super thankful and excited to talk about. So,
Yes,
Ashley, take it away.
absolutely. Yes, 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 y'all. Before we get into like the track by track breakdown, right? Let's go
Mhm.
ahead and do a little bit of the soul check-in, okay? Raquez, how are
Yes.
you feeling today? Let's do this. Let's get into this soul check-in. What is your mood today, Mr. Raquez?
I will say I'm feeling optimistic.
Okay.
Optimistic is a word that I haven't really used a lot
Okay.
recently
Wow.
in this year. So this year has been not really been that optimistic for me, if I'm being transparent. But I am feeling optimistic, and this album, I know it came at the right time for me to hear it.
Mhm.
This is my first time ever hearing this album. So I want to
What?
actually thank you, Ashley, for presenting this to me,
Oh, no.
because
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today when I was driving in the car listening to this. I've been listening to it throughout the day,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm gonna have to thank her. This was a gift. You gave me an early Christmas
Wow,
gift, and I
Quest.
appreciate it. I mean that for real, all sincerity, because I
Yeah.
had heard only two songs, and we'll talk about which songs they were. But I only
Okay.
heard ever heard two songs on this album before. So
Okay.
to hear this album, and then at the time of my life, it felt like it came at the right time. So I'm feeling
Wow.
optimism is what that was a long answer, but that's how I feel.
Damn. That
Yeah.
was deep. I like that, Quest. Why didn't I know this was your first time actually hearing the album? See?
First time.
We
Yeah.
be putting
Yeah.
each other on. I love
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
I would have to say my energy today, Quest, is I'm feeling like I needed it. I need to get it together. That's how I feel.
Mm,
I feel like there is some baggage that I still need to let go of so I can feel fully liberated, if that makes
mhm,
sense.
mhm,
So, and I'm just being honest with myself because I kind of feel like something is missing. I know it is. I know exactly what it is. I'm gonna get on myself with the guy. I gotta get on my shit, basically.
mhm.
But we can go deeper into that later on in the podcast. But that's just basically what I'm feeling like today. That's it.
So, in one word, what would that word be of how you're feeling?
Accountability
Accountability. Okay.
for
Well, we're
myself.
going
Yeah.
to hopefully by the end of this episode, you'll have reached that
That part.
accountability. so, so I guess the first thing I want to start out with is asking you, Ashley. I'm super excited to know, because y'all, and those that have watched our previous episode with Kelly Price, each week, each time we do this, I'll present a project, Ashley will present a project. So this project was Ashley's idea to review. So Ashley, tell me about your introduction to India.Arie and why this album.
So I had a friend, she actually introduced this album to me years ago. I was like 21, 22. And at that time, again, I was listening to the album and I was singing the album, but it really didn't hit home to me until as of recently, again, because I had to live a little. But n- I wanted us to review something with some substance. Not saying that the previous album, Slow of a Woman didn't have any, because it did, but I wanted something that can uplift us, the audience, um, and just give us the space to go deeper within ourselves, because music is healing, and I wanted us to go ahead and get on with that journey. You know what I'm saying? These are one of those projects that, to me, it's just, you can listen to this for the rest of your life. It just doesn't get old to me. So that's why I chose this album. Yes, at this time.
And I appreciate that. I do. I will say so. And was this your first introduction to India.Arie as well, or just this
No, no,
album?
no, 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 no. So I heard this album when I was like 21, 22-ish. And this was years ago. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes,
Mhm.
the whole introduction to India.Arie. You're absolutely right.
Okay,
Yes.
got you.
Yes. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So my introduction to India.Arie was "I Am Not My Hair." That
Oh,
track, and that's not on this
yes.
album, but
No, it's
that
not.
was that was probably when I was like maybe 19, 18.
Uh-huh.
I think I
Mhm.
heard it as a kid, but you hear stuff, but you may not really remember
Yes.
it. But I
Yes.
do remember hearing that as a teen. And so I really didn't know much about her, honestly, still until had to dig into this
Mhm.
project. I still didn't know a lot about her.
Yeah.
But that was my introduction to India.Arie. I always liked her. Like I heard her
Mhm.
song video, and
Mhm.
there's the song that she has called "Just for Today" and "Good
Mhm.
Morning," and so prayers for humanity. So she's
Yes.
definitely in alignment with who I am as a person.
Yeah.
So I love her, what she stands for. But this was like the first time I ever really gave her a real deep dive into her story and her project. So I'm excited, and let's go ahead and jump right in to her to this
Into the
album,
breakdown.
Voyage to India. Yeah.
Yes, I'm excited, y'all. Let's go ahead and do it. So the first song, y'all. Okay, so it's actually an interlude, right? India sets the whole tone from the very beginning when she said the only thing in life that's constant is change. That hit me. I
Hmm.
said, that's
Hmm.
right. you know,
Hmm.
um, and it
And track
just
one is called Growth for
I'm
those that
sorry.
are.
Yes, I don't know why I thought
It's okay. Track one is called
that's what I'm saying.
She
I'm
ready
like,
to
I'm
grow. I
ready.
see
I'm
you.
ready to show
Okay.
you. Growth is the name of the intro.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. But this interlude just reminds us to take one day at a time, y'all, and to evolve, to learn, and to surrender to the process.
Hmm.
Because life is short, but life is all it's more than just perfection. It's just about you becoming who you were meant to be. So that's my take on growth.
So okay, so and just for those that may have not listened to this album yet, or if you have listened to it, then you probably know what I'm about to say. But I didn't realize that this album has three different like sub chapters, is what I
Yes.
would describe it as. And I didn't realize at first. I thought I was like, "Am I playing the same? Did I go back to the same song?" Because the musical instrumentation was the same for each
Yes, it
interlude. There's
was.
three,
Yeah.
but for this one, Growth. In addition to what you said about the only thing that is constant in life is change, is what she says in the song. What this means to me, this feels the most similar to where I am in my life right now with like
Mhm.
change, but not only just seeing things change, but with growth, as it says,
Mhm.
also seeing people around you change. So,
Ooh.
and I know like we're in the
Mhm.
holidays, and I know for a lot of people, this can be a very sad time because you have family members that are no longer with you, or maybe you're not close with your family. So for me, this track, excuse me, it represents, even though things are changing, people always think like change is like, oh, if you're not growing, if you're not changing, if you're not growing, if you're not changing, or if things are the same, you can't never grow. But sometimes when as time goes by, you don't grow, you sometimes decline. And I
Mm.
think seeing family pass away and get sick or go through mental decline, that is still a part of that change that is referenced here, but it's not necessarily in a upward. I guess it depends on how you look at it. Because for some, if you are in your elderly years, you are transitioning over to your next journey if you believe in an afterlife. So I think it has double meanings, multiple meanings, depending on which perspective you look at it at. So for
Mhm.
me, it made me feel sad, if I'm being honest, because
Mm.
it made me think about seeing people that I love and knowing that as I get older, they get older. And
Mhm.
that's a part of life. It's change.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you get comfortable, that's when life says, nope, here comes something else, and it's time to change again. So
Yeah.
it kind of like, I know it's an interlude, but it kind of made me feel sad. Yeah.
You know, it's not funny. I was just thinking like, damn, I was literally I had that thought yesterday and I was just thinking about my parents. I was like, I'm 36. My parents are almost 70.
Mhm.
And in my mind I'm just thinking like, oh, I'm getting emotional. I know I am not about to get emotional.
It's okay.
Uh it's just like just to piggy off what you said about life is always happening, whether
Mhm.
you are here or not. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I guess I'm an overthinker, and at times my mind it gets a little deep, and I just thinking about okay, if my parents pass, when my parents pass, because anybody can go at any time, but will I be mentally prepared for that? Will I be emotionally prepared for that? You know what I'm saying? So I know that's a whole conversation for another
But
day.
I
We
don't
was just
really think I don't think there's anything that you can do to prepare for it.
and
I
you're
mean,
right.
you know,
You're right. You're right.
that to me, what you're saying, that's very real. I mean, my mom is not 70, but
Mhm.
she's had her own situations going with her health. So it kind
Yeah.
of makes you, it's sobering to think about like, oh, they're not going to be here forever. And like when I'm their age, they probably won't be here. Well,
Right.
it depends on
I
how
see what
old
you're
the
saying.
parent is, but
Yeah.
so it's kind of like, but you have to grow. You
Yeah.
like you have to. That's
Life
the only way
still
that you know what I'm
happening.
saying. Like if you're not growing, you're not here. You're not
You're
alive.
stuck.
You're
Yeah,
stuck.
like yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, you don't have a choice. You just have to. I think what you have to figure out how to do, which I think we'll get to with this album, is learn how to adapt to the change
Yeah,
and
that's
learn
it.
how to find tools to help you be able to evolve as time
Yes.
goes on. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That whole part right there. Yeah.
Did you have anything else about this one?
Oh, no, that's it.
Okay. So then we jump into track 2 called Little Things. Now,
Yes.
Little Things for me is a very fun track. I really like it. And I love the music video too. So
Mhm.
with this song, what I took from it is it's kind of like a soft groove. So it's not like a full out dance number, but it has like a nice like upbeat soulful groove to it. So basically what India is talking about in this song is she is appreciating the simple things in her life. She talks
Mhm.
about themes of her neighborhood is much better than anything she's ever seen in the world. She's talking about how down to like people having humility and kindness. So saying you're going to be late if you're, instead of just assuming that people should be waiting for you, say, hey, just call in just to say I'm going to be a little late, being considerate of others.
Mhm.
It has a really strong sense of self-acceptance and inward self-worth. So talking about embracing the simple things, saying
Yeah.
she doesn't sing and write music for the glitz and glamour, but more so just because it's what she loves to do. And for me, because I'm from a small town. I'm from a town called Washington, North Carolina, and
Mhm.
it reminds me of my hometown. Hearing her talk about like her neighborhood and just seeing how the things that I feel like people that come from like small places, they usually have the most like character and soul and are the most like down to earth because you really didn't grow up needing a whole lot to be happy. You had to kind of
Right.
adapt happiness based on what was inward
Yes,
versus
you work
like
with what you got.
exterior. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
what about you, Ashley?
I agree. I basically was feeling the same way. Like this is a song is pure gratitude, just appreciating, like you said, her neighborhood, her roots, the everyday life, the simple joys, and she was just also just reminding us like, hey, stop overly complicating things.
Hmm.
You're gonna miss out on your blessings. It's right in
Hmm.
front of you. Joy is already right in front of you. Thank God for what you have, because y'all it could always be worse. You know what I'm saying?
Now,
Like,
now I'm gonna try to during this. I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, I'm gonna try to figure out what your favorite track on this album is because I
okay,
know I'm gonna see how well I know you, and I
okay,
want you to see if you can tell me what my favorite one is. But
okay,
I don't think it's when we get to the one. I think I'm gonna tell you, but
okay,
I don't think it's this one. But this is a really
okay.
really solid song, and
It's a nice
what I love
song.
about the video is that it matches the actual lyrics. How it's not like something
Oh my
totally off
God.
base from
Yeah.
the lyrics in the songs. I love that
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah,
So
me
it's a
too.
beautiful video.
Yeah,
India.Arie is gorgeous. Love
she
her,
is.
her aesthetic. I love her, just her.
Her energy.
I think my favorite
Her
part of the video is where when the song starts and then she knocks
mhm,
on the door and that's when the beat
mhm.
drops. And I
Yes.
love that. Yeah. So
I love that. Yes.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. You
That's
want to jump into track 3?
all right, let's go ahead and get into it. So, track 3 is called Talk to Her. So, this song right here, this song feels like Soul of a Woman's Cousin to me. It's
Hmm.
about honoring the divine feminine, in all forms. No matter her background, she could from being a lawyer to being, a call girl,
Hmm.
it doesn't matter her path, her story, her journey. A woman deserves love and respect, and the divine masculine should honor and protect that, and even if she's a stranger, just being that armor of protection around the divine feminine. So that's basically what I got from that song.
So it's interesting that you said this reminds you of Soul of a Woman,
Yeah.
the song on Kelly Price's album.
Yeah.
I do draw that same correlation, but I feel like it has a even deeper meaning
Mhm.
because I one of the things I really liked about this song and that I really took note of is that she could be talking to, it sounds like in the song she's talking to like a man, or talking to a man about how to treat
Yeah.
his woman, and she's saying things like, don't get smart with her, treat her
Yeah.
like you would your mom or your sister or your daughter,
Mhm.
and so to me it's like it's more so I feel like she's talking about, just like you said, the feminine energy in itself, but I think
Mhm.
also she could be talking to other women, uh
Yeah, absolutely.
treating each
You are
other with
absolutely right.
respect and honoring each
Mhm.
other in a way where people can see, not saying that people
Mhm.
should base how they treat you off of how you treat other people, but
Right, right, right.
if they see you treating other women well, you're setting the standard.
Yeah.
You're not being catty and jealous and all these things. And I don't even think it really has anything to do with only just women entirely. I think obviously she's the beacon that is saying these
Right.
things, but I think it's
Mhm.
just about feminine energy in
In
itself.
general.
So
Mhm.
whether that is a man that's feminine or a woman, I think it all has the same type of meaning. It's just
Mhm.
respecting the feminine energy and knowing. And also another thing that I thought about too,
Mhm.
like with war, right? War
Mm.
is a very destructive aspect of humanity that I will never seem to understand. And you never really see women being leaders in that, right? It's usually
Mhm.
men, it's usually
Yeah.
masculine energy that is causing this disruption or wanting to take over someone's territory and get more than what you need. I don't normally see the feminine acting in that way. And maybe you could talk
Mhm.
more to this, Ashley, because you're more aligned with that spiritual belief system. But how does that show up?
Um, I feel like without the divine feminine, there is no what's the word I'm looking for, Quez? Uh, I feel like without the divine feminine, there would be no order.
Hmm.
I feel like masculinity is all about I'm not gonna say all about, but I do feel like women could very well be in those leadership roles. Like we're not all just emotional. Like yes, we are nurturing, we are emotional, but we also know how to lead um a community or a nation if possible. Because taking away the I guess you would say the religious aspect of who's the head and not the tail, blah blah blah. I feel like the woman should be the leader of certain things. Certain things, I
Hmm.
do.
Hmm.
I feel like even with this society, whatever we got going over here, I feel like it's being corrupted because it was a lot of the toxic masculinity because it is toxic femininity energy as well,
Hmm.
but I feel
Yeah.
like now it was driven just with people were more so worried about the power of it and the
Yeah.
control of it. But you have to also think, you have to strategize. You just can't be going out here, okay, I'm just gonna go up here and just throw BOMBSs on people. You have to really think about certain things. You got to make sure you're doing it the right way. And sometimes it's not even called for. War is not called for all the time. Sometimes you just got to sit down with the leaders and just have a real deep come to Jesus moment and then be okay. Like it's not always about fighting. It's just not. Sometimes it's a
But
time and a place for everything. Yes.
I
But
think men. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think men are emotional. They just don't know how to express it in a healthy way.
Yes, you're right. You're right. And that starts at home. It does. It starts at home because I know y'all, I've heard it in my home, toughen up, boy, you be all right. Don't cry. Shake it
Hmm.
off.
Mhm.
And that's not healthy for men because, like you said, that's when some men are just not emotionally intelligent now because they don't know how, like you said, they just don't know how to
Mhm.
express their emotions. So,
Mhm. Mhm. And I
yeah.
would even take it a step further and say, because this has been something probably in the last maybe 10 years that I've heard about with like people referring or even implying that God could be feminine or a woman or not necessarily a man or masculine energy. And I think that is because when you look at the nature of what God is supposed to be, they say
Mhm.
God is love and all these things. That doesn't sound like the heteronormative
Mhm.
version of a man, a masculine man. You know what I'm saying?
I
So,
feel I'm sorry, go ahead, boo.
no, go ahead.
I feel like when it comes to source, I feel like there is divine feminine and divine masculine.
Hmm.
I feel like both of those energies, they have to they coexist, just like with us, like you were talking about how there could be a masculine or a feminine man, but everybody has a masculine and a feminine energy in them, with masculinity. That's when you have to bring in your action. You're taking action to do things, with femininity, you're nurturing. I feel like source or God isn't necessarily a man or a woman. I just feel like those energies, they just coexist. That's how I feel. People
Now,
can feel.
can you break down what divine masculine and divine feminine means?
I feel okay. So this is just my take on divine masculine and divine feminine. I feel like they both have like their categories. Like I was just breaking down, like divine masculine is taking action, making sure your speed, just definitely that's all I can think of right now is just taking action and doing things.
Hmm.
And the feminine aspect, you're nurturing, you are 'cause I'm not gonna break it down because I feel like I evolved out of that somewhat far as, like, what
Hmm.
society has said, like, the traditional ways of being feminine or masculine, and what
Hmm.
I mean by that is, like, what we will traditional means the woman staying home, and she's nurturing, and you can do whatever with that, but I
Hmm.
feel like feminine energy is what is creativity. That's the energy, your sacral chakra. You have to dig deep into that so you can be creative. Like that's the energy there. So I feel like they both coexist for you to be able to be in this world, to coexist in the world, if that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important. Like, so, because if I'm hearing you correctly, it sounds like you're saying you're referring to like I say heteronormative, but like gender
Mhm.
roles of, like you said, a stay-at-home mom versus a man that's the breadwinner and things like that. So, because I feel like sometimes when we use words like divine feminine or divine masculine, it can become a little go over people's heads. I know for me, it
Yeah.
kind of goes over my head because I don't know if that's like, is that something separate from just like the normal human type of masculinity? Because you say divine. So I just wanted to have some clarity on that. But it sounds like it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, if you're talking about more so like the masculine should
Hmm.
be the
Hmm.
providers and protectors. That is a
Yeah.
part of a characteristic of being masculine.
Hmm.
Let's just take away the genders out of it, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Me, just being me, right? I'm a woman. So I have my masculine energy and I have my feminine energy. It's inside of me. You need both of those energies to be able to go out and do what you need to do for yourself. Like let's just take away you having a partner. You know what I'm saying? If I did not have my partner, even if do or don't, you still have to make things happen for yourself. That's just how I look at it. There are
Hmm.
still things within yourself that you have to do in order to manifest the life that you want. And it takes both the divine feminine and masculine in a in order for you to manifest
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
reality that you want.
So I'm just looking here. So masculine energy is often associated with, like you said, action, logic, assertiveness, independence, goal
Mhm.
oriented. So I've often described as doing the doers, the ones
Yeah,
taking action, like you said,
taking action. Mhm.
providing, being decisive. Feminine energy associated traits are intuition,
Mhm.
creativity, nurturing, empathy, collaboration, receptivity. So, often described as the being. This energy is linked to emotional openness,
Yeah,
flexibility, and more fluid in the intuitive approach.
and that could be a
So,
man or a woman.
it can be a man or a woman.
It can be
So,
both. Yeah.
it could, but I think for some reason I'm trying to understand why do we always, maybe because it says masculine, so you associate that with male versus like
Mhm,
feminine associated with with female. So maybe that
mhm.
might be why. I would have to do some more digging on that part. But it sounds like a healthy human being should have a bit of both.
Yes.
Should have a bit of both. And it was
You have
something I
to have
heard
that.
India.Arie say. I heard her say that we all are souls. It's not like
Mhm,
we are we don't have a soul. We are souls. We are
mhm.
souls living in a human existence.
Right.
So that's to me. I think your soul, a healthy soul, should have both, like you said, the balance of both. So
Absolutely.
definitely
Absolutely, I
for sure.
agree.
All right, and then so with track 4, we get into slow down.
Mhm.
Slow down. Now that song, it kind of reminded me of like I kept trying to think, was it like, is this song, and it's another song that reminds me of like a Spanish, has like a Spanish influence
Yes.
to me. So
That's what I love. I love
yeah,
that.
tell me about how this song, what the song mean to you?
Okay, so this is one of my favorite songs on the album because this song reminded me of me because I was running real fast, going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? This song is gold to me. I feel like India was talking directly to my spirit, especially when
Hmm.
I first heard this song when I was in my 20s, because I was literally in the midst of junk at that time. So when we rush and run and chase, for what? For why? What are we really running from? And that's what I felt like for me. What was I really running from? What are we rushing to? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes spirit just needs us to be still so we can be able to hear what the next direction is. Like you told me remember you told me about a month or two ago, you was like, Ash, because I was like, look, Quest, I got these downloads. I'm about to, I need for you to do this. I need, and you was like, okay, wait a minute.
Hmm.
Sis, you might just need to write it down because it's gonna be some other things, stuff that's gonna be coming in, and you
Yeah,
gotta put the pieces together. So
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes you just need to sit down and be still and see where God would like to take you, what source spirit would like to take you, what direction you need to go. Because life is definitely a journey and it's not a race. It is not a race. And you have to enjoy like the sweetness that's in between. So that's basically what I got from that.
And I think too with this one, because I think that's one take on it. But
Mhm.
my take is slightly different because she talks about themes of, yes, I think not feeling like you have to rush through things and being anxious, but then sometimes you may feel that urgency because of where you are in your life, your time,
Mhm.
your, like they say, the women's biological clock may be ticking, or maybe you feel like you are in your older part of your life and you may have not taken advantage of the time opportunities that you could to pursue certain successes or careers. So now you feel like you are on a, basically, for lack of a better way to say it, you are on crunch time and you don't have
Yeah,
much time
I feel
left.
that.
But she
Mhm.
also talks about, you know one the way she verbed it out was, you got your hands in the air with your feet on the gas. So
Yeah.
you're just blindly going through life, and you're not necessarily even taking control and steering to be
Yeah,
able to make sure you're going in the direction you want. All you're doing is
that's
just
true.
pressing gas, just accelerating, and you're not even
Yeah.
being conscious of where you're headed. And there's also a part where she says, you're trying to run away from your past.
Yes.
What are you trying to run away from? Are you
Running
trying to run
away.
away from the people
Mhm.
that say you would never be something or never be able to do this? Or maybe you came from a very unfavorable childhood, and so you're trying to
Mhm.
prove it to yourself that, hey, I am more than what they told me I could be. But in the meantime, but also, you're also not using discernment, and you are not using wisdom to be able to make sure you're making good decisions, or you're everything. When things happen too fast, like they say, that's the quickest it can come down to,
Right.
because it got built too fast. So you want something that is slow and steady, so that way you can sustain it
There's a
in the
foundation.
long run.
Yeah,
So that's what I got
absolutely.
from it. This song stuck. Excuse me. This song talked directly to me because I can be like
Mhm.
that. Even like
Me
how I'm
too.
talking now, when I get like thoughts in my mind, I get overwhelmed with the
I'm
thought
like that.
and the idea, and then I start tripping over my words
Oh, yeah,
because I'm
that's
trying
me.
to process what I'm thinking about,
Yes.
and I'm
Yeah,
excited to share it. But if I
yeah.
just slow down, process what you're thinking, and you can just say it and be calm and relaxed about it. Or
Mhm,
even sometimes I'll over prepare for stuff. Like I was just having
mhm.
this conversation with myself today. Like, Raquez, you really need to stop worrying about stuff that has not happened or may not even happen. You have this notion that this could happen, and it could, and it's okay to be prepared.
Prepared,
But
right.
sometimes you can't prepare for everything. Like
That's
you can't
right.
prepare for your parent passing away. You might
Right.
know it's going to happen at some point, but you shouldn't spend your time worrying about that when you have all this time to prepare, to plan and be with them now
That is so
and
true.
enjoy the time you have now. So
Be in the
don't feel like
moment.
you should,
Mhm,
yeah, be in the moment. But
mhm.
I feel like it's kind of like, even with like us as millennials, we kind of don't really have that same. It's like sometimes I feel like I was born in the wrong
Era.
time,
Mhm,
because it's like I was born in '94,
mhm.
and it just seems like things were so much better for people that were older then,
I
versus
see what
now. It's
you
like you
mean.
have so much pressure, you have so much uncertainty, you have so much to be worried about, for lack of a better way to say it. And
But,
so go ahead.
I feel like our parents, you know what I'm saying, back in the day, when they were around our age or younger, they probably felt the same way. You know what I'm saying? So, but I see what you're saying because we are living in different times, but I do feel like everybody feels that way at a certain time in their life. I do.
I don't know. They didn't have social media, Ash. They didn't
Well,
have
you
social
right about
media,
that. You right
and I
about
think
that.
that's what
Social
kind of
media.
accelerates the feeling of feeling like you don't have time, because you are watching everyone else around you. And then that comparison comes in, and you start to compare, well, they have this at this age, and I'm still just not getting this. Or maybe I got this, but I don't have this. So I think I really beg to differ when people say that, like, yeah, they may have had some pressure. I'm not saying they went through, without any anxiety about the future, but I think it wasn't to the level that it is now, where you can instantly, and it's like people, they like they say, they show the highlight reels, but it's like people want to go to social media to be able to
Yeah.
brag about what they accomplish, which is, it can be a good thing, it can be encouraging, it can also be motivating for other people depending on who is looking. But I also think there's a negative aspect to it. Now sometimes I feel like it's a little imbalanced, where the negative is a little higher than the actual
Yeah.
positive aspect of it.
I
So,
see what you said. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I see what you're
but
saying.
and then it talks about the race is not given to the swift. The biblical context of saying the race is not given to the swift, but the one who endures to the end. And so I think this song, and it's interesting. This song came out in '02, but it's still very timeless. The It's a relevant message. This entire album, so it
Absolutely.
transcends time,
Absolutely.
for
Mhm.
sure.
Absolutely. All right. Are you done with that, boo? You had anything else you want to say? Okay.
Let's
Okay,
keep
cool.
going.
All right. So the next song, y'all, is called The True. Now, this is a nice song too, y'all. Oof. This is how I broke. This is my perception of the song. So to me, this is a mirror song. Like for your person, your partner becomes a reflection of who you are, right? Because she was like, he is the truth. He is, or she is, whatever you do, right? Your
Mhm.
gift from God. You learn each other while learning yourself, flaws and all. So this song right here hit home to me because just in my experience with me getting to know myself and my partner, this song hit home for me. I was like, oh my God, this is deep because before I got grown, I really didn't know what a relationship was until I started experiencing it. I started to experience relationships. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, but you just start to see yourself and the people who you choose to be around or the people that you choose to be in your life. And so That this song right here, that's because I'm a ramble. Go ahead, Quez. I love this song.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say, so this song, this was one of the songs I did hear before,
Mhm.
but I didn't listen to it with the same ear. So when I
Mm,
heard it, I wasn't listening to it for the same meanings that you just said, nor
mhm.
the meanings that I have from it now. I didn't hear at first.
That
But
part.
with track 5, The Truth, for me, this song, it has like, so I do find one line in the song kind of provocative where she says, maybe I was your husband and you were my wife. I thought that
Yeah.
was kind of clever. But
Yeah.
it this song definitely is, gender is not even a thing in this song to me,
Mm-mm.
because it talks about almost like a twin flame. So for
Yeah.
Native American spirituality, twin flame, two spirit type of vibe, where it's like you see, not only do you see the beauty in the person, but you also see that you can acknowledge the quirks or the perceived flaws. And
Mhm.
I think that this type of love is holistic and very wholesome. And
Mhm.
so it makes me, so this was a big question that it made me think about unconditional love versus conditional love. You know, they
Mhm.
say like the love of God is unconditional and that
Yeah.
you should love people, your partner, unconditionally. But I heard it explained a different way a few years ago, and I really loved it, and it resonated with me deeply. But I feel like it's not necessarily popular. So love, I don't really feel like love should be unconditional. I
Mm.
don't.
Why you say that?
And I say that because, especially if you're in a relationship with someone, like a romantic relationship,
I think I know
because
where you're going.
if you are in a unconditional, and maybe the way people use the word unconditional love is not necessarily what they're trying to describe, but
Mhm.
like if you're in a marriage, right,
Mhm.
and you are saying you love this person unconditionally, you do anything for this person, but this person, they start out one way and then they change.
Mhm.
So marriage is kind of like a contract anyway. It's like a business, right? So if that person starts to change, not necessarily that they got sick or anything, but they change the way they treat you,
Mm.
then should you still give them that same unconditional love? Because they're not, and I hope I'm making sense,
No,
but
you are. You make
they're no longer treating you in a way that celebrates you or aligns with how you want to be treated. And so I do feel like your love should be conditional.
Mm.
If you're not treating me the same way you started treating me when we first entered this love, well, maybe things did change for you the way you feel, that's fine, but that doesn't mean that I should have to suffer and have this long suffering type of, I know that's what like the Bible teaches about like long suffering, but I don't necessarily think that you should be long suffering for someone that is not wanting to treat you
Absolutely not.
well.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah. So I push back against unconditional love. I don't think I definitely say my love has conditions. Not saying you
Mhm.
have to, not to say that I may not care about you anymore,
Right,
but I'm
right.
not going to overextend myself for someone that has changed how they treat me or I
Yeah.
feel like I feel like it sounds a little selfish, but that's
No,
just how
no,
I feel.
I get what you're saying. I do because at the same time, like in the song, she said with the interlude growth, right? For
Mhm.
some people, like you said, some people they they can move forward. Some people they don't grow at all. They just stay the same. But you can still if you look at it in a different angle, you can be like, I love you unconditionally. Well, it still be conditions because it's like I feel what you're saying. You can just be like, you know what? Thank you for teaching me this lesson because it was something that I need to see. It was something that I needed to work on within myself. Yes, it hurt, but I'm glad I was able to see it for what it was, and now I can be able to move forward, move on with my life, however that looks. So I mean, I get what you're saying. I do. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'm just sitting with that right now because what you just said too, because it's like
Mhm.
I feel like I don't even sometimes the notion, I was having a conversation with someone recently
Mhm.
about the word love and
Mhm.
like what that means and stuff for them. And they say
Yeah.
they were saying how they believe in that true love exists, but they had never experienced it before. They never
Mm.
really had, they've been married before, But even
Mhm.
that marriage wasn't necessarily a love that lasted. They got divorced. So it
Okay.
made me think about, well, if you've never experienced, I feel like our notion or our idea of love is sometimes not even our own. We don't even know what love means. Like, actually, what does
It's like
love mean for you?
A Hollywood fairy tale type of shit.
Yeah. Like, what
Yeah,
does that even mean?
like, for me, I'm in a place now that I feel like love mm, because the mindset that I was before is just not it now. I feel like love is it all depends on how you love yourself, and then everything else fall into place. Because before I was looking outside of me for love and validation. I didn't know what that was. But the way it looked for someone outside of me, I feel like love is someone I gotta go back to that. They mirror who you are. Because to me, it's like love is you evolving and being growing into that person you're supposed to be. So just like tough love, love don't always have to look like rainbows and fairy tales. But I do feel like with love, love has to be something where you are from the external part, they show you who you are, and then you can grow within that. That's lessons in that. I
I
don't
don't
even
know
know
if
if I'm making sense with this.
I don't even know if I know what love means anymore, to be honest with you.
From an external point of view or just internal
Yeah,
as
I'm more
well,
so talking about not necessarily love for yourself, but more so loving someone else is more so what I'm talking about.
and that's
Because
why you
I think your self loving yourself, how you love yourself is, I think that should be unconditional. Like, I
absolutely,
don't think that
yeah.
should have conditions. So I'm
No, no,
that's I
no,
want to make sure
no.
I'm clear on that. Like,
Yeah,
when I say unconditional love, not believing in that, not necessarily for yourself. You should always have unconditional love for yourself, because you're going to be with you forever until
facts.
you're no, you know what I'm saying? So that's never, that to me is asinine to not even think like that. But when I'm talking about loving external love, like loving another person, and if you don't love yourself, you really, like they say, you really can't share that with someone else. But it's like, how do you? I
I
don't know.
just
That's something I'm gonna have to kind of think on myself. Probably. What
yeah,
does love mean for me?
I feel like it's for me learning just being in a relationship, you have to be okay with that person being them. Just being them, however that show up, and if you don't like it, of course, you can just go ahead you go ahead without your business, but I feel like just being creating the space for you for them to be who they are, because I feel like when people get into relationships, they feel like they own that person, and you don't. Even with marriage, you don't
Mhm.
own them because at the end of the day, they're grown, they're gonna do whatever the fuck they wanna do. So it's like for me, because I have an issue with and I'm learning how to let go of control. You know what I'm saying? Like your partner is not your child. Your partner is a grown ass person. They are a separate individual from you. They think differently from how you think, but that's the beautiful part about it is that y'all are two different people, or y'all can be very similar in some things. However, you just have to be okay with going with the flow and just allowing things to happen. Just being okay with letting letting your partner just be them. I'm not saying you being okay with them sleeping around or doing, being abusive or anything like that. No, I'm saying just letting them evolve how because they're still on their journey and their path. Yes, y'all met up to do life together for a season or for a lifetime, but they're still someone who is evolving in their own journey and that's going to look different for everybody. That's how I see it.
I see where you're coming from. And kind of like what you just said, because even in this song, The Truth, she's not necessarily just making it sound like, oh, he's just a or he or she is just a
Oh, no,
perfect
yeah.
person.
Oh, yeah,
She's
no.
talking about, there are quirks.
Mhm.
I love the gap in his teeth,
Yeah.
so I think that's what makes this song beautiful to me as well, is because, and maybe that's going back to what I said about, I don't know what my definition of love is, but maybe love is what you just described. It's still having that admiration and care for someone, beyond their perceived flaws.
Yeah.
And
Because
flaws
you
may
have
look like
flaws too.
you have flaws too. And that's why when she
Mhm.
says she sees herself in him, she
Yes.
describes seeing herself in him. So you see yourself in
And
that
that's
person.
why
So
it goes back to
mhm,
self-love. You loving yourself to be open, to be able to love other people because you're gonna see yourself in other people.
mhm, mhm.
You're gonna see it. I see me in you, Quez. You know
Really?
what I'm saying? There are things about you. I'm like, damn, I do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll talk about that later. I don't know if you want to talk about
Go
that.
ahead, tell me. I want. Go ahead, tell me.
Like, okay, so y'all, this is my brother. So whatever I'm gonna say is what I've already been told him. It ain't nothing crazy. So my brother has it. He's working on being critical of himself and others because sometimes because he'll project on me every now and then, you know what I'm saying? But when me and him have our come to Jesus moments, I realized, I said, damn, because I got on him for doing, I was like, well, you projecting and it don't feel good. And then you were a mirror for me because I was like, damn, I do the same thing. I do the same thing to my partner.
So
I do
you're
the
talking
same
about
thing to
like
my
being critical,
just
and
being
then mhm,
yeah, just an example of what we do as
mhm,
people and just seeing ourselves in other people because we do the same
yeah,
thing. Like
yeah,
just knowing who you are. That's why they say you have to spend time by yourself and you have
hmm
to get to know yourself and love yourself before you bring somebody else in it because then you start to look at your partner for love, for self-aware, for happiness, for
hmm
joy. That's the shit that should already be inside of you, period.
hmm
The partner is
hmm
just someone it's just it's an addition to who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like you should never be looking for something in your partner besides you two coming together, doing what the fuck y'all came here to do, whether that's having kids, getting married, traveling. Y'all don't have to get married, y'all just be. You know what I'm saying? So and relationships look different for everybody. It doesn't necessarily have to end up at the altar with a ring. No, some people don't get married. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't experience people's listen, y'all, you just gotta be okay with you, period. So even if you were to die alone, you will be okay with you. You just be okay with it. I'm not gonna put sugar on shit. I'm just not
But
some
is that
people.
realistic though? Because I think people say that, and I think that's over romanticized sometimes. Where people are like, well, you can be with yourself, you can do bad by yourself, whatever, whatever. But we are meant to
Because
be with people and have companionship.
I hear what you're saying, but let's just be real. Some people do die alone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's some of them chose to be, and some people didn't. Some people just did not get that, and maybe it was just a lesson within themselves. It was like, okay, this is probably something that you came here wanting to do. There was something that within yourself that you needed to be by yourself, or you just missed that train, or you just you
Well, I'm more so talking about the people that did not want to. Because I mean, if you want to be
well
by yourself, then you're not in this conversation. But if you are someone that does not want to be alone, then I don't feel
yeah,
like you should have to accept that as your reality forever.
and I get that too. But what can you do about that?
Well, it takes us back to what we talk about, masculine and feminine. You do something about it. You have and one thing I love about India.Arie too, that she said we are responsible for our life. That's one
Yeah,
of
we
we
are.
are responsible for how we show up. And that's, if you don't want this to be this way, then you got the power to change it. As long as you're alive,
So, and it doesn't
it's your
mean
life.
settling. Yeah, that doesn't mean settling either.
Not settling.
Because
Exactly.
a lot of us, I've done it too. You be wanting to be in a relationship so bad that you sit up here and you just settle just to say you got a man or you got a person. You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
So I don't think necessarily the opposite of not having it is settling. I don't
No, no,
think you
no,
have to
no, no.
settle to have something. Even if,
Absolutely not.
I think you try things, and if it doesn't work, then that's when you realize, no, that's not it. But that doesn't mean you stop. I don't
Yeah,
think, unless
right,
you want to. If you just say I'm done trying, then fine, then be done. But don't
right,
complain about you not having nobody because you
right,
never gave it another shot.
right. And then I guess that comes with, using your intuition, knowing when
Mm-hmm.
someone is for you when they're not,
Mm-hmm.
seeing what you need to see acknowledging it,
Mm-hmm.
healing, you know, all of that plays a part.
Mm-hmm. All that. All that.
All of that.
ALLAT. All that. We go
That part.
all that.
Yes, all
Yeah.
that.
Did you have anything else for the song?
No, babe, I'm good.
Okay. Then we get to track 6, Beautiful Surprise. I love this
Mm,
song.
Oh,
Mm.
please talk about you closing eyes and shit.
I love this song. This song is so
Yes,
beautiful. Like
let's
it
talk
is.
about
It's
it.
it's it's too short actually.
It
But
is.
this one just I played this song like over and over again last night.
Mm-hmm.
This song is just it talks about an unexpected love. You not expecting, you're not looking for anything in particular.
No.
You didn't even expect it to happen. And then boom, there it is. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and I mean it's pretty self explanatory. Yesterday I didn't even know your name and now I can't stop thinking about you. It's like you run into someone, you meet someone, and it's like you are head over heels. And I think you're in
Right.
that honeymoon say stage and
Mm-hmm.
everything just seems to be beautiful and the stars align, all of this stuff. Like I love this song. This is the kind of
Yeah.
song that I feel like I generally like to gravitate towards when it comes to like the idea of love and a relationship and meeting
Yeah.
someone. It's just being head over heels. Now let me ask you this, Ashley, before you give me your feedback on it. You are in a relationship,
Yeah.
yes,
Uh-huh.
and so does this last
That
throughout that
feeling.
relationship?
I'm
That
gonna be
feeling.
honest. Fuck no. I'm gonna say this because, and this should just be real. Not saying that I don't love my person, but there are times where I'm like, where is the fire? You know, where is it? What are we doing? Sometimes you just gotta reignite that shit. Sometimes you gotta be like, why are we doing it? Like, what was the reason why we came together anyway? Because you get so used to doing the same shit. You got bills, y'all working, it's the same old day in and day out. And then it's like y'all lose focus of yourself because you're trying to make shit work, stuff come together. You know, for some people, you got kids. I don't have any children yet, but for some people, they have kids, you know, that's the focus for that. And then sometimes you just like, yo, like, you lose yourself in relationships, you know. But I feel like if you two really true, or three, four, five, whatever y'all do, if you really truly love your person, you will make it work, whatever that may look like for y'all. And that feeling can be reignited. I do feel like that. I do. Because that has happened to me. It has.
Now you come throwing 3/4 all that, and so let me ask you this.
I'm talking about people, not me. I'm saying people with
I
poly.
know, but I'm just saying now I want to get your take on it though, because is
Yeah,
that real? I don't believe that's realistic. I really don't. I'm not trying to judge people that
I
you know
feel
are
it.
in a polyamorous relationship or open relationship or whatever. But I don't feel like that's. I don't feel like that's the way a relationship was designed to be, based on whose standards, for probably what people ask, based on whose standard. I think based on the concept of a relationship,
Okay.
because even if you have, to me, a relationship is between two parties of any dynamic. It could be a business relationship, it could be
Okay.
a friendship, it could be a romantic. I think it's between one and another party for it to be like, I mean, yes, you have like multiple business partners, but I still feel like you all have to be on the same accord. So if you
Mhm.
have multiple partners, like consensual partners where everyone agreed that we're having multiple partners, if you're not having a conversation to make sure you all are on the same page and want the same things, and it's already hard enough to get people to agree on what to eat for dinner or for lunch sometimes. So how do you decide that this is how the relationship is going to be ran amongst 3 or 4 people, like successfully, yeah, healthy, you know?
You know what? For the people in the audience that are in poly relationships, please let us know, because I was in it for play. I wasn't in it for real, for real. So I don't know how to answer that. But I do get where you're coming from, request, because I feel like it can be a little messy. Because I've seen videos of people expressing how they felt. Some people felt like they were insecure because they saw their partner, the one that they've built, you know, the relationship with, go out, even though they agreed to bring someone else in the relationship. They tend to get jealous. They feel like, okay, well, maybe you like this person more than me, I feel like you don't love me anymore because you spending more time with this person. But for some people, they know how to make it work because they feel like, well, I love each of you the way I do because y'all bring something different to the table and it just works for some people. Or some people, they just can't do it. For me, I like I gotta do one man. I have to do one man. I've tried it and I've tried the little poly thing and it's not for me.
So you have tried
For
poly.
play. For
What does
play.
that
It was
mean?
real short lived. The couple, they didn't do it in a healthy sense because they already had issues in a problem. I feel like if you're gonna bring someone in your relationship, I feel like you need to work on your relationship first with that person. I feel like that everything y'all need to talk, y'all need to go through counseling. I feel like y'all need to do everything y'all need to do so it can be a healthy relationship, bringing someone in. Because what happens is I feel like that's when the other mess starts coming in far as like the insecurities and then the all this other shit that be happening in a poly relationship because I do feel like you need to make sure your relationship with your main partner should be healthy before bringing someone else in. I do feel like that.
So with your situation, you said it was a short stint, but
Short
did you
lived.
short
Yes.
lived? Did you all like live together,
Hell
or
no, it was
y'all
short. It
went
was
on dates together? Like
we
you sat at one side of the table, they sat at the other side, and
I forgot it. I tried it twice because okay,
okay.
so with one, look at Quez, you let me tell all my business. But look, with one couple, they were married, and with them, and they weren't at the time they weren't comfortable with letting people know that they were doing the poly relationship. For
Hmm.
me, with my partner, I like to feel in touch. I'm handsy with my partner. If I can't, they didn't want you to touch on the partner, the man. I'm like, listen, I want to touch on the man. Okay. The female, we cool, we cool, whatever. But I want to touch on the man. You know what I'm saying? They weren't doing all that in public. It was like the man and the woman, of course, because people publicly knew that they were married. They didn't know they were doing the poly thing. It was just more like okay, you're helping these women type of thing. And I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not doing it. I can't.
Is
I
that the
don't wait.
equivalent to sister wives?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. To that. That's exactly what it is.
Do you feel like, since we were talking about, I know we were talking about with the previous song about settling, do you feel like this would be an instance of someone settling? Well, at least I have someone.
I'm gonna say for me, I was settling, but for someone else, they may feel like they hit the jackpot because you got to remember people join or be a part of poly for different reasons. Some people they do it because it's like, you know what, we need help financially, or for a woman, it could be like my man, he's a nympho, whatever you call it, and he just
But
want.
that's a roommate.
I know everybody that's what I'm saying. Everybody's reason behind doing poly is not really a healthy reason. Everybody do it because for whatever reason they want to. It could be sex, it could be anything for real. But for
Mhm.
me, I felt like I was settling because I felt like I couldn't find the one that was a perfect match for me. But that was before the healing, and I still got healing to do, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like I was just settling because the man was fine as fuck. Excuse me. The man was good looking. Okay, you gonna cut that out. You gonna
No, just say you're good. You done said it.
Look, yeah, he was cute, but my thing is at that time, I was definitely settling. I was settling. I
Now,
like
who
talk.
approached this idea? Did you approach him about the idea, or he
He
approached you?
did. He did. And at
Mhm.
first I was like, you playing. Let me talk to your wife so I know it's real. And I talked to the wife. And she was like, "Yeah, if I were you, I would blah 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 blah." I was like, and then I met them in
But don't
person.
you? But didn't that make you feel like she had low esteem?
I thought about that. I talked to her about that, and she said no. She said at first she did feel like that, but after a while, it was just kind of like she knew what his mission was to do, and I was like, I knew. For me, I was like, I just couldn't feel comfortable with that. I just couldn't. But they were doing everything together, and I do mean
S- uh,
everything. Yeah.
To me, that just kind of sounds a little misogynistic, just a
Mhm.
bit for
I felt
me,
like that,
because
and I
you
felt that
know
too. I did. I felt like that too, and I was like, yeah. I feel like I'm gonna look real stupid in this because I don't like having those. I guess you would say constraints. I don't like feeling like I don't let me be free in my own relationship with my one man so I can do what I want to do with him so I don't have to worry about I just didn't I wanted to be free. 'Cause then they were talking about we had to have be intimate, like you had to wait.
what?
I said,
Wait, you
when
had
I
to
want it, I
wait for
want it.
what?
You have to wait because it
Wait,
was
wait your turn.
basically. And I was like, so how do you keep up? You got 5 women already. How do
Oh,
you
you were
keep up?
one of five.
Baby, it was short-lived.
Oh, I thought you were one
Okay,
of one, the only one. No, let me
baby.
stop.
In this one, but in that situation, oh, if I think I still have the picture. I can show you the pictures later. But yeah. Like I met them. I feel like I met them for a reason because
Hmm.
it was some things that I needed to hear and some things I needed to see. But other than that, I feel like it happened the way that it should have happened. I brought my ass back home.
Was
So
this in your early 20s or
I think it was my late 20s. Yeah, it was like my mid to late 20s.
okay?
Yeah. Y'all, y'all, y'all,
Mhm.
y'all, y'all, y'all be moving
That's
up.
pretty courageous because that's not something I could do.
Yeah,
I don't even need to think about it enough. Yeah, I know I can do that. Mm-mm,
it's a bit much for me, but I've heard a lot of people say that they enjoy it, they love it, they like it, it's
mhm.
working for them.
But my question would be, why not be single and just be with multiple people? Like that just seems to me more or less complicated.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, but I guess they my problem is the mixing of energies for me. Because if you when you're single, yes, that's what you're doing. You're especially if you're intimate with the people. I
Hmm.
just don't want to me it's just too many attachments. Like I need my energy need to be with one person. I just gotta be with one person. I've
Yeah,
tried
it yeah.
and
For me, it just takes me back to what I said. I don't feel like that's how a relationship was designed
I feel
to
that too.
function. Yeah, and I'm not trying to be like close minded or anything, but I just feel like that's just not a. I'm not saying people haven't done it successfully, but I don't necessarily feel like that's a normal thing for most people for it to be successful.
Oh no, everybody can't do it.
Yeah.
But then, like you said, some people are just selfish though. Some people just want
Hmm.
to have, oh, I got 2 baddies or 2
Hmm.
some people are just selfish like that and they can
Yeah.
brainwash their partners and thinking like, no, this is no. Like some people, that's what I'm saying. Like people do it for different reasons.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I do believe that there are some people out here that are doing it for it's a healthy poly relationship. I really do feel like there's some people out there that's doing it I ain't gonna say the right way for them. That's what I'll say.
Well, they need to come forward and lead the
Please.
pack because
Yes,
they ruined
please.
it for they've ruined the
Please.
image for
Yes.
yeah, but other
Yes,
people
for
ruining the
real.
image.
Mhm.
So, anything else about this last song, "The
No, you
Truth"?
basically said everything that,
Okay,
well, Beautiful Surprise.
"Beauty Surprise." Excuse me.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
it was the
cool.
same thing that I said. Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So now we jump into track 7, which is the second healing or the second interlude called Healing. And
Mhm.
so this is the where the album starts to shift into a different part of the so overall this is so it's called the Voyage to India. So there's like a
Mhm.
process you're getting like it's almost like destinations, different
Yes.
destinations. So the first
Yeah.
destination was growth. Then now we're at the next destination, which is healing.
Mhm.
So in this one, it's the same instrumental. But in this one, she's saying, she's releasing disappointment, releasing guilt, releasing shame, releasing all of that emotional residue. And so now we get into the healing aspect of it.
I agree. That is it. That's basically it. And just releasing old baggage, letting go so you can be prepared for the blessings that Source has in store for you, But to me, this is just like the cleanse before the elevation. That's how I feel. I do feel like it like that.
Now, I do want to say this, Ashley, because you started by saying that your word for today is accountability.
Hmm.
And in this, she's talking about releasing the guilt and disappointment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you talk about accountability for yourself, is it something related to something you've done, or is it something that a place you feel like you should be, but you're not, and you're trying to hold yourself accountable for not arriving or showing up how you had planned to show up? What does that really mean for you?
For me, is me not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, basically. Not saying that there may be, maybe there is some residue still there far as like the things that I am holding on to. But the biggest thing right now for me is I need to do what I need to be doing. I would say that. So I need to take accountability for, okay, now, ma'am, you know what you need to be doing. Why aren't you doing it? That's
Is that
basically what
just
I'm
for
saying.
like professional or romantic, like in your relationship? Is that for your
Spiritual,
personal, for yourself, spiritual?
spiritual. Spiritual.
Can we talk about, can you give an example of what that means? When you say spiritual, because that's something that I'm trying to wrap my mind around what that could look like.
Me being consistent with my spiritual practices. There are some things that I'm being called to do, and I think I'm just afraid of myself. I'll say that. I feel like a part of me is like, yeah, I'm excited, I'm ready to do it, but then a part of me is like, oh my God, I'm scared. Because I know where it's coming from. It's not like I don't know, but I think it's that part is coming from me. I guess you would say, I guess we can talk about it. Shit. It's that witch wound, me being and embracing who I really am without me just like coming out base. I've been spiritual, I've been me, but people seeing like, oh, she's a witch, and it's not in this, because when people say witch they be like, oh my God, you're evil. No, I'm not evil. No, I do believe in a God, the creator. My path is just a little different than yours, but um my spiritual practice is mine, just like yours is yours. I do not judge. I don't care what you believe in, you know what I'm saying, as long as this whatever you believe in is making you better you a better version of yourself. But for me, it's the fear of the rejection part of coming out fully and being Ashley, however that looks for me, without giving two fucks about what people say. Because I've had family members not talk to me anymore because I came out being who I am. And that's just the most freeing thing to me, is being me. I can't
Can
deny
you
that.
talk about who you are? Because I feel like you are hinting at it, but I want
I
everyone
said
to
it.
really
I'm a
being
witch.
you're a
I'm a
witch. So that's what
witch. Yes.
you're
I
professing.
practice
Okay,
hoodoo and
gotcha,
all of that good stuff. Yes. Yeah.
gotcha. And I think, and the reason why I wanted you to say it again is because I still felt like it was kind of ambiguous. Like I
I see
heard
what
like
you're
certain
saying.
things you said, but it wasn't like just owning it. Like
I
this is
get,
who I am.
but this is healing for me because now I'm able to speak it, and I see
Hmm.
what you're doing, Quez. You get on my nerves so damn bad. Look, okay. Okay. So
We all need that
it feels
friend to
good to
help pull us
say it.
out.
It
Yeah,
feels good to say it. I
yeah,
practice hoodoo.
yeah.
I am in it. That's what I love. That's just it's just me. So some
Hmm.
people um they judge me for that. But at this point it's like I can no longer can't care no more. Because if I sit up here and live my life the way that people wanted me to live my life, I would be miserable. And I'm breaking the chains. Like I can't live my life because this is how you want me to live. Then like that's your life. Let me live mine. This is
They
me.
judge what they don't understand, and I
They
think
just didn't
it
understand.
ties back into representation. Like,
Yeah,
and
you're
when I
right.
say representation matters, it's not only just for like physical. It's like all types of different misunderstood cultures or
That's true.
thought processes, theories and all those things. So I think for me, even like me being transparent with you, the way I was raised, when I heard the word witch, that was bad. There was no good thing
When
about
I
being
heard
a
it
witch,
too. I
you
know when
know
I heard it too.
but I'm learning that that's not always the case. And
No.
I think when we change the narrative, people like yourself, or even like people like we were talking about that are in polyamorous relationships that are doing
Yeah,
it successfully, if you all come forward, you can take control over the narrative that's been so preceded before
that's
you
true.
by other people that are doing it for negative things, you know?
Yeah, and this is the thing too. You can be a Christian and you still can do evil things. So it's really
Mhm,
up to the person. It's really the person. It's your
mhm,
intention.
mhm,
Because people, you can sit all day. You can sit in a church 365 days of the year and be the most evil person. Evil person. I've seen it. I witnessed
mhm,
it. I've been around it.
mhm.
So just because someone practice hoodoo or voodoo or whatever the case may be doesn't mean that they're evil. Now, do you have people who practice black magic or dark magic? Yeah, you do. But I do feel like for each his own, that's your business. And this is mine.
And I
And
will
I
say
feel
this
good about
too.
it. Mhm.
I'll say this because, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because when I just doing my listen of this album and doing my research on India.Arie, there is so much light about her. So
Yeah,
much light. When
you can
like, and
see
I'm
it.
not just saying that to be saying something figurative. Like there is such a purity about her
She
that
is.
I see, that she
Yes.
emulates. And
Yes.
so for you to be the person that you say, you out of your mouth said that you are a witch,
Mhm.
and for you to present this project as being something you wanted to go into do a deep dive on,
Yeah.
there was no way you would be attracted to something like this if you were a
No.
dark person.
Here's the thing, we all have good and bad within us, like I said. We all do. You know what I'm saying? There are people, again, I'm gonna go back to the church because people feel like if you're not Christian and you just celebrate or you're for Satan. That's bullshit. Um but I'm listen, this is me.
And
I'm
they
all
have their
about
version of
showing
it
grace.
too.
Amen. And listen, I'm neutral. I'm learning because you can't go through this life without doing both because there are times when you have to protect you. There are times you have to protect your family. I'm not saying go out here and just be hexing doing stupid shit. No. Again, that's your business. But for me, you you have to heal first. So then you be able to do what you need to do. That's what I'll say. I feel like healing has a lot to do with how you go about your day-to-day life, how you react to certain things, how you go about even with your practices. You have to heal some shit within yourself in order to really fully truly activate your gifts, to really fully truly be who you are because some people be out here and they think it's being a spiritualist or being a witch is trendy and it's not. Like it's not always rainbows and unicorns. It's not because you got to go through that accountability, that healing, and you got to cry, you got to let shit go. It's a transformation. That's why this album is everything because she's talking about healing in her album. She's talking about releasing old baggage. She's talking about being renewed and finding her partner or mirroring someone's mirroring her and she's mirroring someone else because it's more of it's her journey. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with being whether you Christian or a witch or spiritualist, whatever you want to call it, practitioner, whatever you are, is really about you and your journey in your life, basically, if I'm making sense. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm rambling a little bit. Am I rambling?
No,
I'm rambling.
you're providing a lot of insight because
Okay.
again, you are this project is for real. This project it allows me to see into your soul a bit
Mm,
because I think that's
wow.
what art does. Whenever I think if you ever want to know what people this is how I believe. If you ever want to know who someone is at their core,
Yeah,
listen, be hang around and see what type of movies they watch, see what type of music they listen to, because
that's
that'll
true.
give you glimpses of what's inside. Because art is such a soulful practice.
It is.
Like you don't
Mhm.
create art from science. You don't
Yeah.
create art from math. You create art from your soul.
Mhm.
It may not always be sadness, it can be happy, but it comes from within. So this allows me to see what's on the inside of you. You being my friend, it allows me to see, I feel like I'm knowing you in a different way.
Mm.
And I've never heard you say that you were a witch. So I've learned that today. I didn't
You
know
just
that about you.
you're right, because I was kind of beating around the bush. I
Yeah,
had to
and
be
I think you
comfortable
may
with
have
it
been
too.
kind of apprehensive to talk to me
I
about that
was
in a
a
way,
little
because I feel like you know like what I stand for. But
yeah.
and I want to ask you this though. Have you ever, and if you feel comfortable sharing this, if you're able to,
Mhm.
have you ever used your practice for to be able to hex someone?
No. Now, have I been mad and said some shit?
Hmm.
Yes. It
Okay.
wasn't intentional, but you have to be careful. Like when they say life and death is in the power of your tongue, anybody is spiritual. Anybody can be powerful. And that's why you have to be careful with what you say
Hmm.
because you may not subconsciously you may not well consciously you may not feel like you did anything but subconsciously it can be something running in the background playing and it's just something that you're saying or doing I'm gonna say saying that could very well be um your intentions can be just fucked up.
Mm.
'Cause it's more than just it's more than just lighting a candle and you doing this and getting herbs. No, it's more than that. Cause you are the altar. If you didn't have shit, you got everything you need, and that's you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's why I say you have to really heal yourself because just because somebody cut you in line, at Chick-fil-A, that don't mean that you can sit up here and have road rage and you want to kill people because or Popeyes. Like, no, you have to be able to control your emotions. You gotta be able to I'll just say this, you have to be able to heal
Use your
yourself.
powers for good.
Use your power for the greatest good of the community, for everybody, for
I, I,
yourself
I feel
first.
like we're gonna have to do a separate episode for this because I really have more questions
Okay.
about this now.
Yeah. I hope I'm making sense 'cause I feel like
I don't feel like
I'm
we have
all
enough
over
time
the
to
place.
really like dive deep
Yeah.
into it enough, but
Yeah.
I do feel like you're adding some useful insight
Just be
and
careful what you think and what you say, what comes out your mouth. Basically what I'm saying.
being responsible with it,
Being
with that
accountable.
power.
Yeah. Mhm.
I love that. Did you have anything else for healing?
No, that's it.
Okay, so then why don't you take us to our next track?
Okay, so the next track is you crazy, Get It Together. With
Get
this
it
song,
together.
yes, honey. When I first heard this song on Shark Tale, I was in love. I said, "Is that India.Arie singing this song?" Yes, this song right here is to me is about accountability and just a reminder that the deepest wounds, y'all, often come from the people closest to us. But healing, for real, healing is your responsibility. I don't care who or what did what to you. You are accountable for your own healing. And you have to be able to forgive yourself and you have to be able to release that trauma. I'm not saying forget it, because you're gonna remember, your body remember shit. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be able to heal your nervous system and speak life over your spirit, speak life over your life, basically. So that's what I got from Get It Together.
I second what you said, especially the part about, your healing is your responsibility. And, this song to me had like, there's three different, like kind of three different parts of it that I really
Hmm.
gravitated towards. And you touched on most of them, but definitely family wounds. No one can hurt you like your kin.
Yeah.
And we often hold on to this pain, and it shows up in your chest
Your
or your
health.
back.
Hmm.
And I remember I heard India say this. She says usually all ailments, they start in the spiritual energy realm
They do.
first, and then
Yep.
they manifest themselves in the
In the
physical form.
spirit.
And
Yep.
that makes a lot of sense. So even when we think about, like they say, generational curses or generational, like what do you call that, where they have like sicknesses that pass down, hereditary, like
Hereditary.
diseases. Yeah.
Headache. Yeah.
So it's like, I think it comes from the energy,
Hmm.
and even back to what you were saying about you being a witch. I think that, and I say that, I'm not trying to be funny, but I say that by saying perhaps the idea, if we take the word witch out of it,
Right.
right? The concept is very practical. It's very logical. It makes a lot of sense.
Hmm.
Because if you believe in God, you got to believe in the spiritual world. You have to. I mean, it doesn't
Absolutely.
make sense to not believe, you know what I'm saying? So it just, to me, it makes a lot of sense. It
Yeah.
does. And the other part about it too, I love the part, even back to what you were saying about death and life is in your tongue. You know,
Hmm.
she says it doesn't matter what they say unless you believe it. Basically,
That's
she's
right.
saying, what you're the first to hear what you
Yes.
say,
What you say.
and
Exactly.
that's what it will be.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's what will be. So
Hmm.
I think this is a beautiful song. This song, The Truth and this song are the two songs
Yeah.
I had already heard before. But again, I didn't correlate
Yeah.
the message. It
Right.
didn't correlate for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same
it
here.
didn't.
Same
So
here.
I think that's one of the beautiful things about India's writing as well, because she writes her songs that she puts these, I feel like it's intentional, like these hidden messages. And sometimes I feel like she may not even realize that she like added other context to it that may have be interpreted in other ways. But this
Yeah.
song has so many different layers.
Like you said, she's the beacon. She's the vessel. When the source is coming, source is speaking through her to us,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
she uses her music for as a healing tool for
Mm-hmm.
us. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
why I love India.Arie. I love her. Yeah.
And I will say too, also with this song, she talks about, she hints at, you have now aged and you become older, and it's showing on your face. And
Yeah.
you now need to embrace this, because it's not necessarily, I have here, it's not necessarily that you are getting quote unquote old or declining. It's that you survived. You
Yeah.
went through this journey of life, and this
Yeah.
is not something to be sad about. It's something to be proud of. Even like now, where people like try to age shame people, no, you're going to get older
Which
if you want to still be here.
people ain't got nothing else to do. Why are you age shaming people? What it's a blessing to get to our ages. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And so,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay.
mhm.
Yeah, go ahead, Frank. Go ahead.
But no, I agree. It's a blessing. Like yeah, if you're not getting older, then what, you want to die?
Yeah, like what do you
You know, that's okay. Cool. Well, you have it, sir, ma'am.
yeah, it's okay.
They, them. You
Right.
know. So, but yeah. So, anything else about Get It Together?
No, I'm good on that.
All right. So now we are in track 9, Headed in the Right Direction. Oh, I
I
love this one.
do.
Headed in the right
Yes.
direction.
Yes.
I love this song too.
I love
This is
this
the
song.
other Spanish influenced song. I
I
love this one.
love, yeah.
With this one, it feels good. It feels optimistic. There's that word again. It feels like I finally got it together. I've healed. I've grown. I'm healed. I am headed in the right direction. God is shining on me. My God is with me. The Holy Spirit, whatever you call your guardian angels, whatever spirit, the divine, they're with you and they are paving the path for you. So you don't have to worry about what's next. For me, I'm in that place where I am now in a space where the thoughts, the human aspect of worrying is real. It is. I
Yeah.
want to worry about what's next because I don't know what the next step looks like. But I trust that my intentions, I remember India saying this also. If your intentions are where if you are intentional, then the spirit will meet you where you are and
Mhm.
life will meet you where you are. Be intentional about what you are doing. And to me, that's what headed right in the right direction represents. It encompasses all of that. So no, I don't know what's next. I don't think any of us do. That's why I hate that question when people be like, where do you see yourself in 5, 10
I
years?
hate that
Like,
question too. I'm
where
like,
do you see
shit, I
yourself?
don't know.
You know what I'm saying? You didn't even know
Right.
what you were going to be doing next week. You know what I'm
Or
saying? So, or
today.
today. So it's just
Yeah.
like, I don't have to know that as long as I'm intentional.
Mhm.
Intentional looks like you are doing things that align with your purpose. You are doing things that you feel like resonate with you to get you where you would like to be. Doesn't mean that you're going to know, okay, on this date, this is going to happen at this time. It means that I am intentional about aiming, like go back to slow down. You got your foot on the gas, but now you're holding the steering wheel and you're
Mhm.
steering yourself in the right direction to be able to transcend to the next level, not
Mhm.
just aimingly, just blindly going through life. And then hopefully you never know, you might drive yourself off a cliff, you know?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I know I got passionate about that because I
No, you
love the
was very
song.
passionate because you was
Yes.
like, yes, you were doing it. It was like, we can pass through our house. Yes, and then to grasp. I was like,
I
yes,
love this
I
song.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
No,
But
I
what about
believe
you?
you.
What about you?
Basically the same thing. I feel like this song for me, like I've been in a place where I search for love and validation outside of myself. And it's like eventually you'll see the truth. It starts with you and it starts with source. It starts with God. And even when you slip up, you fall, you get off course, your spirit will always guide you back to where you need to be. Like for me,
Mhm,
becoming a spiritualist or becoming a witch, this is my path. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? Me trying in a different way, it just did not work for me. I didn't feel it, but now I feel it. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? I feel more connected to source because I am authentically being me. I'm working on being fully authentic, but I feel more liberated just being and just speaking about it today. Thank you, Quez, for calling me out. But just being me, just being me.
yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
that's how I see it. Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
ask you this.
Yes, sir.
What are you afraid? Well, I know you say you're being judged, but
Yeah.
is if they judge you, what happens next?
W- They were never meant to be in my life anyway. I mean, really nothing. It's just some people will just not talk to me anymore. But
Mhm,
with this journey, it can be a bit lonely, but eventually you'll find the people that's supposed to be in your
mhm,
life. And you
mhm,
you want people that are, that your soul tribe, I'll say that. You want to meet your soul tribe. You want
mhm,
to be able to be around like-minded people. And that's why when I'm around Christians, I don't ever judge. I be like, okay, I get it. My foundation is Christianity. I grew up in the Baptist church at that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I don't know or I'm like, just because this is another conversation for another day. But I honestly feel like you just gotta be you. You just gotta do what's best for you, and you can't live your life for someone else because you will be miserable.
yes. And I think it also, you are in the South. So that definitely doesn't help either because you are in a place where you are
I
predominantly
see.
around people that don't believe like that. But, I feel like there's a lot of people in the world and we just have to, I feel like you attract what you put out there. you attract, if you attract that, if you put that out that you want that, I feel like the people will find you. And you have
You're
all these
right.
different outlets to be able to find your tribe. So I don't
You
think
are
you have to be
absolutely
lonely.
right.
I don't think loneliness is the opposite of what you're describing. I
You
think
are
that might be a
absolutely
symptom,
right.
but that doesn't have to be your final outcome. Kind of like
You
what we
better
talked about
shut
with the
up.
relationships. Like with
Yeah.
relationships, you don't have to settle for just because one person didn't work out. Don't mean you just say, "Oh, I give up now. I'm gonna be by myself." No,
Yeah,
keep
that's true.
going until you find who you're supposed to be with.
That's true. Look at you, Quinn. You okay? You're right. You're
So
absolutely right. Yes,
this
sir.
song gave me life, though. I headed in the right
It
direction.
did.
This song, this wasn't. We'll talk about it at the end, but this wasn't the song that I felt like was my favorite. But now that I'm thinking about it, the meaning and purpose of it, I think this is my favorite song of this album.
Mm.
Yeah, headed in the right direction.
It's a beautiful song.
It's a gorgeous
It
song. It
it's
is.
yeah, I love that song.
Yeah, it really is. So now we are
Yeah.
in track 10. Can
Uh-huh.
I walk with you?
Can I walk with you?
Can I?
Gotta
Can
be
I? Can I? Yes.
Can I be a friend? Yeah, I love this song. I really, really do. This song it's like a sweet love type of energy. Like it's a friendship. It starts off as a friendship and it turns into
Hmm.
something deeper. It's like two
Hmm.
souls choosing, to choosing each other and they choosing
Hmm.
to take their time to build, to grow, and to walk hand in hand to something that's more sacred. So this song to me, um, I just love all her. I love this album. I just love. I can't. For me. It's kind of hard to choose.
Hmm.
I mean, it's
Hmm.
a song. I'm like, we'll talk about that soon. But I
Hmm.
do love this song. I do. Yeah.
This song is beautiful. It is.
Yeah.
It's pretty. Like I said, this song and the next song I feel like are pretty straightforward. This is
Yeah.
about a pure love, kind of like in that beautiful surprise realm, and but this is now beyond just beautiful surprise. It's not just an idea of someone. It's now you really actually. This is like a friend that you see it can be more,
Yeah.
and I really like how she talks about. I like how she I like how she dresses up the same thing that some songs say, but in a more like holistic, wholesome way. Where she said,
The
can
spiritual
I
way.
be with
Yeah.
you as your wife?"
Yeah.
Basically, she's saying, "Can I have sex with you?"
Yeah.
That's other. You know what I'm saying? But it's still in a way that can be received in a way that
Right.
is like it sounds pure. It's like a purity. It's
Respectful.
not just
Yeah.
about let me just get it in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, can I be with
Yeah.
you as your wife, meaning
Yeah.
I'll still be here the next day, and you can come back and get more, and I can get more, and then we can just keep going. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I get from it. It's just a pure
Okay.
song. You know,
Yeah.
talks about it's like grown folks type of love,
Yeah. It is.
wholesome. Yeah, I like it. I like it a
Mhm.
lot.
Mhm.
And then we get into track.
This song right here it's like the possibility. It's like the what if, that moment when your heart knows that y'all could be magic, but it
Hmm.
just takes like the other person to kind of let their guard down and
Hmm.
actually be in the moment and feel like, okay, we can try it. We can try
Hmm.
it. Um, that's what I got from the song.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I just want to take a little bit of time right now to interject and say, could we really didn't talk a lot about like India.Arie as far as her presentation, her artistry, as far as her
Mhm.
aesthetic, because she's not in this time, early 2000s, it was all about like the she was kind of like in her I would say kind of in her only like lane. I mean, there were maybe you had Erica Badu and Joe
Yeah.
Scott and Angie Stone that were
Mhm.
similar, but it wasn't really that wasn't the norm of what was like pushed as far as the beauty standard.
Mhm.
When you look at India.Arie, she is a beautiful chocolate woman,
Beautiful
and she has
chocolate.
a beautiful wide nose and had her natural hair, and
Beautiful,
so
yeah.
that wasn't necessarily the aesthetic that was mainstream. So I think
Mhm.
just how she talks about love and still wanting to, like I said, the same things that some of the other people were doing, other ladies were doing, it's dressed up in a different way to show that that's not the only way to really be sensual. You can be sensual without being help me out here without being
Without
provocative.
being provocative. Yes, I was gonna say
Provocative. But
something
if
else.
you want to be
Yeah,
provocative, then that's fine. But
yeah,
I
that's true.
think that it makes people think that that's the only type of way to get something that you
Yeah,
want is to
yeah,
be provocative. So
yeah.
I think it's important to see different types. So I'm not saying that women shouldn't be provocative. If they want to be provocative, go ahead, go at it. But I
Absolutely.
think you should be doing it for you,
Mm-hmm.
for your own
Not
accord,
for the
not
male
because you
male
want
gaze.
the male gaze.
Yeah,
And so what I love that India did is that she not only represented still wanting to have the same thing. She's human, you know, but she's also not going to reduce herself or
right.
compromise how she wants to show up to
Mm-hmm.
be able to get what she wants.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love it.
I
And
love it.
then take us to our next track.
All right, so track number 12 is Complicated Melody. I honestly, when I first heard it back in the day, I did not like this song. I think it was how it started. I was like, yeah, nah, I'm good.
Mm.
I didn't
Okay.
get past the if you were a color, you would be a deep dark forest green. I just did. I was like, I just don't feel like listening to the shit. But when I heard it, when I heard it, I was like, oh, that's what she's definitely, this is like a poetic devotion. Like she's just like using metaphors to describe the love of her life. So that's basically what I got from that. Um, and then her like yeah, like her partner just becomes like a melody in her life. Just, her embracing her person, basically what I got.
Yeah, I think this one is pretty like straightforward too. This reminds me of a country song. That's what I got
Yeah,
from it. And maybe
that's what
that's why you
it is.
didn't. Maybe that's.
That
Do
might
you
be
like country
why.
music?
It depends, because it's
It
some
depends.
songs
Okay.
I do listen to. I'm like, okay, I didn't like that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
where I was mentally at that time.
I
Yeah.
think it's very illustrative of her. And I like her metaphors in here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they're a little unconventional. I
I
would
love
say
it.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't think to say you're an ass or
Yeah.
you are deep dark forest green. That's a very specific type of color. But I appreciate
Yeah,
even
I
like
love
how
it.
she sang kind of off key. Like
Just a
we play with that.
creativity.
You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like how she dressed it up. I think it was very
yeah,
artistic and creative.
yeah.
Not my
Absolutely.
favorite either. You know, I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep it real, but definitely I can see it's. I think that's part of the allure with it. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be not perfect. It's supposed
Yeah.
to be kind of I don't know, you
Yeah.
know, but it does the same thing like you said. It kind of reminds me of the truth. You
Yeah,
are
yeah, yeah, yeah,
seeing
yeah.
the beauty and the quirks at the same
Yes,
time, and the
at the
two are
same time.
coexisting. Two things I'm learning. I've learned
To be true at the
in
same
my
time.
mind to do
Yep.
the two can be true at the same time.
50,
I feel like
11
when we
things can
think
be true at
about
the
that, say that
Yes.
again.
I said 50, 11 things can be true at the
Yes,
same time.
yes. So it's like yeah, more than just two, right?
Yeah.
I think the bottom line is nuance, knowing
Yes.
that
Yeah,
everything is not black and white.
yeah. That's true.
So
Mhm.
that's what that represents for me with
Yeah.
complicated melody. It's complicated. It's
Yes.
complicated.
It's complicated.
And then we jump into track 13, gratitude. So this is
Right.
this is the last interlude for
Yeah.
so before we get into the last leg of the album. And so with this one, this is kind of tying everything together. It's ironic because it feels like some of these, like this interlude kind of closes the previous songs, the
Mhm.
chapter for that,
Yeah.
instead of it coming before, but
Mhm.
it kind of closes that chapter, just saying she's thankful for the imperfections, embracing impurities because they are a part of that refining process. Even what you were saying, Ashley, how you're crying because you're washing your soul.
Yeah.
There's a purity that's going on there. It's
Letting
interesting because
go.
I don't consider myself to be super in the spiritual realm like you are, but I understand a
But
lot
you
of
have an
the
inner standing
yeah, understanding.
because
Yeah.
we're spiritual beings
Mm-hmm.
first. So like
Mm-hmm.
you get it. You
Yeah,
get it.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. I love it. Anything else that you want to say about this one?
Oh, well, gratitude.
Yeah.
Well, thanking God for every season, like you said, even the
Hmm.
emotional ones, growth hurts, but it's
Yeah.
necessary. Yeah,
Yep.
basically. Mhm.
Yeah. She said that's why I take life as it
As
comes.
but
As it
she says that
comes.
in every interlude though.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's always like I love. Okay,
Yep.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. That's the last line of every interlude.
And I didn't,
Take
yep.
life as it come. Yep. And then we jump into
Ugh,
track 14, Good
this song makes
Man.
me cry. This
Ooh.
song makes me cry. Okay, so with this one is different for me. To me, it sounds, I'm not gonna say necessarily mourning, but it sounds like she lost her husband. I was putting a story in my head. I would say maybe like a battle, like in the army or something like that. And she's now telling her children, because they met, they got married. Well, they had, yeah, got married, had kids, and her saying, well, her husband saying like, "Hey, if I don't make it, tell our kids, the type of man
Hmm.
I was." Oh, I'm getting emotional, girl. What in the world? um, and she just telling the world and her children about the incredible man he was.
Hmm.
And to me, this song is just about love, loss, and legacy. That's how I look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think with this song, like you said, I had to try to stretch my mind to not just limit it to just like it definitely sounded like somebody could be at war or maybe
Yeah.
a police
Police
officer
fight.
or
Yes.
anything where you are doing where you're risking your life and you're
Mm-hmm.
even just going out to work and you never know what can happen on the highway or something. So
Facts.
I think
Yep.
that this is I drew this to more of like a black family, like a black
Yes.
man, black
Yeah.
woman relationship
Yeah.
where, she talks about making sure that he's saying make sure you tell them that their dad was a good man. And I
Mhm.
think because it can be perceived that sometimes narratives can be spun around.
That's
Maybe
true.
why wasn't dad here? He was this, he was that. So maybe his narrative can be
Mm,
tarnished.
that's
His
true.
legacy can be tarnished if you want to look at it that way. But like you said, also letting the legacy continue on and to it's just a beautifully written song. It's a
It
great
is.
melody, very melodic song. This was actually my favorite song at first.
Mhm.
This was no, not at first. Excuse me. When I first heard the album, this was my favorite song. Then our next song was my favorite song, and now "Beautiful Surprise." No, "Headed in the Right Direction" is my favorite song. I just jump all around. This whole album is good to
Yeah,
me.
it's good.
But
Yeah.
yeah, this is a really powerful song. I
Mhm.
this is I had to listen to it over and over because it like really
I had to do that too.
it resonated. It
Yeah.
resonated
Yeah.
definitely. And then we get into our last track of the album, track 15, God is Real.
Mhm.
God is Real. And so with this song, it caught me off guard at first because like with it sounds like she was like doing a radio interview
Yeah.
and or not radio interview, there was like somebody on the radio
Person.
talking and
Yes.
they were saying science can do this, but it can't explain the why. And I love this song. This is such a beautiful freaking song.
Yeah, it's a really
Now I
nice
will
song.
say verse 2, when she first said, I saw starfish, and then she said, I saw sponges. But I thought she was about to say, I saw SpongeBob. I was like, what? Because I'm like, India, how I'm assuming she was inspired by SpongeBob because she said starfish. So I'm thinking, Patrick and his SpongeBob. So
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
mean, shit, it's art, okay?
but I love this out. This is like a beautiful song. I was like, yeah, it
Mhm.
needs no explanation. I think it
No.
just it talks about just the beauty of earth and
Yeah.
nature and volcanoes and ocean and all of these phenomenons that we really can't wrap our minds around. And then even when we realize that we are not even I think humans take up most of the space here, but we are not even the priority here. I think sometimes I feel like
Mhm.
God has such a bigger plan
It's bigger,
design.
yeah. And I'm one of the ones to believe that I strongly feel like science is spirituality. I feel like they go hand in hand, they intertwine because the creator created science. And I feel like it's just another way of looking at spirituality. That's how I
Hmm.
feel when it comes
Hmm.
to science. Because people like, this is science. I'm like, it all works together.
I love
It
when you make that face.
all
That
works
face is awesome.
together.
Yes.
You so stupid.
Yes. I love
But
when you do that.
you crazy.
Yeah.
But like you
Yeah.
said, that God is in everything. God is in our breath,
Hmm.
nature and love and miracles
Hmm.
and everyday everything
Mhm.
around us, inside of us, that's why I said in the last episode, God is not outside of you. Yes, like we talked about 2, 3, 50, 11 things can be true at the same time, inside and outside of you and around you.
Mhm.
So, that's just how I see it. That's how I see it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think once we get out of like word like titles of stuff, we can be
Yeah.
more we can like make it make sense for
Make
us.
it
That's
make
why I
sense.
had an issue
Yes.
with like
Yes.
Christianity making it seem like that's the
Yes.
only thing that people believe. Like
Yes,
because to
Quez.
your yeah, that's your God, but to them people across seas, that's just they believe so strongly that they got the right answer too. So who are you to tell
Yeah.
somebody that they wrong and
And
it's doing the same thing for them like it's doing for
yes.
you? That's
Yes.
unfair.
And
That
that
is so unfair.
exactly, Quez. And that's why I guess I kind of like speak as if I'm not gonna say like as if I'm a Christian, but I say it in a way that Christians can understand what I'm saying.
Mhm,
Yeah, like
mhm,
because I'm like, yeah, I have to say it like this so you can get where I'm coming from. Because I feel like if I say it like this, you're gonna be
mhm,
like, "Oh, you are a devil worshiper." I'm like, "Ma'am, you just missed the
mhm.
whole point of what I'm saying. That's not what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying."
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so with this, God is real.
Yeah.
If you replace that with any word that you want to, and I know for some people that might be blasphemous to say that, but we got let's be real. We are so many people on this earth, and we are
Yeah.
not going to always believe the same thing. And I think
Oh,
it's about intentionality and what you are intending to do. And
yep.
if your heart is pure and you're doing good for people, then I can rock with you. I don't care
Yeah.
what you believe, as long as you're treating folks right.
Yeah.
As long as you're treating folks right. Now, wrapping up here with Voyage to India.
Mm,
So, India.Arie loves Stevie Wonder, and he has
mm,
a song on his album that he released in 1979, and it's called Voyage to India.
mm.
And so that's why she named it this album, um, Voyage
I
to
love
India.
that.
And I
Yeah.
think that I also got the idea because she's talking about, even when she talked about why she titled it that, she's talking about how all of these songs are her journey to herself. But I
Yes.
think if you replace India with Ashleigh or Raquez or whoever you are, voyage to you, make it personal
Yes.
for you. Because we all go through maybe not necessarily the same situations, but it's always a process. It's
A
a,
journey.
a process that you have to go through. And
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I agree.
this is the other thing I wanted to say about India.Arie's music. Her music feels like chicken soup for the soul. It feels
Oh,
like
shut up.
warmth for your soul. Even
Yes.
on like some of her songs, she didn't do it as much on these songs, but there's some songs where she's doing like a
Yeah.
and it literally feels good, like in my chakra, my
Yeah.
vibrations. Like I can feel it in here,
Yes. Yes.
you
Oh.
know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's I love it. I love
Yes.
this album. This is definitely a something I'm gonna revisit. So I want to thank you actually
Absolutely.
for introducing this to me because
Oh.
I would have not ever probably listened to this. Not because I wouldn't have not because like I said, I listened to her, but not necessarily as a full body of work. So
I
that's
understand.
why this show Rated Reflections is so important because it actually allows us to travel back in the past, and also we'll do stuff more current too.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I feel like works like this is timeless because you can
Yeah.
pick it up and just
Anytime. Yeah.
it'll meet you right where you are,
That's right. I love that.
right where you
Also,
are. Mhm,
people, if y'all want to support India.Arie, she did come out with an album in October of this year, and it's called Rite of Passage. It's really a
awesome.
4-song EP. And it's about prayer, meditation, but go onto her website. It's not going to be on any streaming websites. But if you want to go ahead and support India,
Mhm,
just use the EP as a tool for your
mhm,
healing. Go on that website and get
mhm,
it.
mhm.
Ah,
Yeah,
go ahead and do it, y'all.
definitely.
Yes.
Good
Yes.
call on that. Good call on the Ash. And
Yeah.
I will say too, we didn't really dive too deep into like the because I know with her first album, Acoustic Soul, which that's why I was also kind of curious to
Oh
know why you
yeah.
chose this album because this was
Yes.
her sophomore album.
It
So
is.
it wasn't like her. I feel like all of her albums kind of have like a lot of not kind of, but they have like a lot of edification on them. But
Yeah.
with her first album, she actually was nominated for 7 Grammys, but she
Yeah.
didn't win a single one. And it's thought to be, the controversy was that it was based on politics and things like that. So, and also with her, like I said, her aesthetic and how she presents herself, it's not necessarily, at that time, it wasn't necessarily what was celebrated as far as beauty standards. So still tying it back into what we talk about here with how beauty politics do play a role. And what I find unfortunate for people, this type of music is probably the best kind of music for people to heal them and to let,
Absolutely.
get them through the hard times versus the stuff that they actually push in the
Yeah.
mainstream. So
Absolutely. I agree. I agree. I
um,
want to do something. Are we about to close out?
yeah, go ahead.
I want to do something a little different because this show
Okay.
is also about healing, right? So I would like to do a little affirmation for all of us to do, including you,
Okay.
Rockways.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay.
All right, so everybody just sit up, or you can lay down, whichever you feel good. Put your feet down, yes. And I want us to breathe in through our bellies and exhale through our nose. So on 3, 1, 2, 3. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Release. Release everything that does not serve you. Let's do it again. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. And release. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do it one more time. We're going to inhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. And release. 1, 2, 3. We're going to put our hand over our heart space and just repeat after me. This is the affirmation for today. I welcome growth,
I welcome growth,
love,
love,
and divine alignment.
and divine alignment.
My soul is my compass,
My soul is my compass,
and God is my guide.
and God is my God.
Ashe and amen. That's it.
I love that.
Yes,
Yes, that feels
y'all.
good.
Just have to close out, y'all, on some
Oh,
positive
when I
stuff.
hug myself.
It's great. Yes, I love
Yes, I
that.
love that.
I love that.
Yes. Well,
Yes,
folks, we do appreciate y'all for tuning in to another
absolutely.
episode of Rated Reflections. And I do want to say this too. If you have any suggestions for projects that you would like to see Ashleigh and myself discuss, feel free to drop them in the comment section
Yeah.
below. And we will see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.